All right, hello everybody, and good morning. Welcome to the day after Juneteenth. No, I don't know. Not every day has to be special in recording these things, but I don't know. I was just really excited because I woke up and I saw a reply to the person. I really did. I did feel bad for calling her or him a Nazi. I still can't tell. Twitter pictures are kind of hard. My eyes are getting worse as I get older, but I don't know. It's not that bad. But anyways, it was just funny because now they're talking about. See, we could just call them they. They're. I mean, it's not that bad. I actually use that a lot at work when I don't know and I don't want to misgender somebody. Which I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and turns out is a thing. This YouTuber that my kids actually watch quite a bit said they got misgendered, and I honestly didn't know if it was a guy or a gal. But they have a cartoon avatar. I mean, so it's not like they're animated, so we don't know. So we just have the voice to go on, and even the cartoon that's animated has kind of longer hair, kind of like how the emojis now have a person that's like swimming, and then or a person that's doing stuff, and it's very nondescript. But anyways, let's see. Oh no, but my point is they did finally relent and be like, okay, you know what? I would be okay with a case by case basis. And sorry to like kind of remind what was going on there. I was arguing with this person because they said felons shouldn't have gun rights reinstated, and this was even because the whole point of saying, whoops, actually, what am I doing? I need coal. I guess I don't need, and then how am I doing on torches? So I should probably do some torches. Anyways, my point being was like I was trying to make a compromise that would appease the NRA, but at the same time allow for other gun law reform. I mean, with less friction, because if you offer up to return to reinstate rights to people with nonviolent felonies, especially. I mean, we could even go to for like the violent felonies, and even just put it like a waiting period, like just a standard 5 to 10 years. People get their rights reinstated if they continue to be law abiding. Like, I think that's more than fair. Like, otherwise, we have to admit that our corrections doesn't work. Like, why bother having? I mean, obviously, people would say like, well, yeah, because crime's gonna be rampant. Otherwise, you have to at least do something. Like, so I get the argument for not reinstating gun rights, but it's a compromise because my ideas for, um, let's see, we need some wood. My ideas for kind of like the amended thing was to raise gun ownership age all the way up to 25. Like your prefrontal cortex is fully developed at your mid to late 20s. I mean, it seems to be faster for girls. Like they seem to mature faster, but then again, that's not always the case. But I don't know. But like we can't deny that the human brain isn't really all that adult until 25. And I swear it used to be you could rent a car at 25, and that was like the age, like 18 to vote and to buy adult stuff, and then 21 to drink, and now smoke weed in states where it's legal. And I was even saying like, okay, like I mean, granted, weed and alcohol. I feel like that should still be 18. They used to have 3-2 beer for 18-year-olds, and that was good. So then kids could kind of like get a feel for what it is, and then it's not so like a forbidden fruit. Because that's I feel like the problem, like currently, with so much drinking and heart problems and all the stuff associated with like chronic drinking and all that, DUI deaths. Like I mean, a lot of this stuff is common sense. When people start seeing that stacked side by side, it's like oh, like seeing the ratio of people that kill people driving while stoned versus the people killed. I mean, granted, it's less overall because alcohol is legal and accepted and like perfectly normal everywhere, whereas weed has always been kind of vilified and demonized to where oh, if you're a stoner, like oh, you're a pothead or I love Super Troopers. That's like the best way to characterize it. And then they end up smoking in the end anyway too or whatever. It's like or they're easy on the people, the dopers. They were just messing with them. So I don't know. It's just I feel like that's a much better form of law enforcement. It definitely goes a lot further. I mean, people trust it more than because alcohol just it doesn't make sense. I mean, but at the same time, we shouldn't ban it. Like, I mean, I'm definitely not saying calling for that. Like, but just having healthier alternatives or I don't know. And then I feel like a lot of things like, people only drink and smoke because of their socioeconomic position. Like if their life isn't going all that great, then maybe they need to escape into something. And then, it's I don't know. And there's also reading. Like, don't get me wrong, public libraries, and I was even talking about projects to strengthen public libraries into tool libraries. Like, and I still am pursuing that. I got, well, at least to the point where, oh, see, like my shovel is so broken, I don't even want to. Like, I was gonna dig up that dirt, but it's almost not worth it to me. I might just pave over it. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and get more, because I can always get. There we go. So, anyways, I was excited because, well, and relieved too, because I really felt bad for saying those things. I'm not trying to be a jerk online. Like, that is my least intention. However, manipulating people's opinions and positions on stances, forcing compassion and empathy through basically, like, they have it hyper or guerrilla marketing. It's like guerrilla social engineering. Because basically, I likened her to the Nazis and people that encouraged slave ownership because of her. I think it's her. Honestly, I don't know because sorry, I should figure that out. Anyways, it's really not important. And the fact is like I'm arguing with somebody that's probably from my same voter base. Like they want to restrict gun, rights out of fear of being, another statistic in our public shooter nonsense that we have going on here in this country. And it is rampant, but like like how we go about it, because prohibition with alcohol, we know that didn't work. Like that just caused black markets and gangbanger or gangsters, mobsters, murders to rise. But now, I mean, and Republicans are right. The average Republican answer, besides thoughts and prayers, like that's what, upsets a lot of people because it's like, that's all you're going to do. Well, granted, that is something. It's like thoughts and prayers turns into, if it's in their brains, they're going to be thinking about ways to fix it. And they do cite mental health, and that's a big factor too. Like if you look at any of the mass shooters, most of them have that common thread of having some kind of mental health thing. And people around them might have even noticed and might have been able to say, hey, I think they need their guns just like borrowed temporarily. Like, because I think the other idea is it's the permanence. Like, because guns are expensive too. They're several hundreds of dollars. And so if you're threatening to take someone's gun away from them, that's why they say, you can pry it from my cold dead hands. It's like, man, because that costs a lot of money. That's like, yeah, several $100s. But I mean, I don't take too much sympathy with that because PlayStations are about, you know, $600-700, and they're way worth like I don't know. Because guns are fun. They are a form of stress relief if you should go out and target shoot. And if you hunt, that's a thing too. Although I never could. I mean, it's just, it always seemed barbaric to me. Like, granted, if we had to survive, sure. And that's why it's important to understand how to hunt. In fact, I have a friend who bow hunts because he's even like more wanting the challenge of that. And actually, because I think he can't have a gun, now that I think about that. But, I mean, either way, like, it doesn't matter. I've known people that bow hunt because, or will do both, but they'll bow hunt because it is a lot harder. So, I don't know. I'll kill a deer with my car, though. We started talking about that last time, or one of those times. Ugh. No, that's a mountain thing. Like, there's just, the deer populations are going crazy, and that's why they draw so many deer tags every year for hunters. It's because the populations, they start getting out of control, and then the hunters got to come in and kind of thin them out, and yeah. So, and still uploading videos from yesterday. I just find that hilarious, but at the same time impressive too, because going from dial-up to all this, it's like it's very exciting. Although I am working on something now, like just starting out too, like basically to mimic a project that I did in college, which was like a pet adoption website. And what it would do is it had an Ajax call that would check the other websites for if they were available, and then it would return like a green light if they were, a yellow light if they were laggy, and then a red light if they weren't pinging back or whatever, they weren't responding. Um, but basically, like connecting things. So I was talking in one of these discussions about, just because trying to treat people with felonies as like temporary offenders, like not get all high and mighty and like overly punish people, but someone even brought up a sex offender registry, and that's like, oh, that's tough because that is like one of the things. I mean, murders, yeah, but I mean, even feel like depending on the situation, if it was like a serial killer or someone that was clearly sick, like like Dahmer and all them, like what they were doing, but if it was someone that like accidentally killed someone with their car or something, or it wasn't like malicious intent, it was like or through neglect or accidentally forgot something or left a stove on it, but I don't know, whatever the reason may be, like, because so talking specifically, like I know someone who accidentally killed, I think it was his cousin or his uncle, because they were in a fist fight, and it went a little too far. They were drinking, and the one ended up in the hospital and died of a brain aneurysm like days later. So it wasn't like cold-blooded murder, like he went to the house and shot him or something like that. No, it was he beat him up, or they beat each other up too. It wasn't even like a. Anyways, my point being, he did, I'm gonna say 12 years at Lyman State Prison, or no, just Lyman Prison, whatever. And 12 years for an accidental death, and then finally went into a halfway house. But the victim's family fought it every step of the way, which was his family too, so it was maybe even more awkward. Um, yeah, so I don't know. It's just people like that is who I'm thinking of when I talk about like, we need to do prison reform because prisons are just wasteful. Like they're a waste of life, they're a waste of energy, resources. Like they're really expensive to maintain. So, anyways, oof. I did not set an alarm. And actually, I was just going to do this one because I'm going back to bed. No, I'm taking it nice and easy for my vacation. Let's see. So it's 6:52. We got 12 minutes. We got to do 7:20. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. It's oops. No. There we go. 7:10. Also, um, hmm. That would have been annoying. I have to pause my alarms. All right. So, anyways, yeah, it's just, whoops. And I'm still the party squid. I don't know. I have so many random skins or random, yeah, outfits. Oh, this island is just really looking cool. Although I wish it would start piling up the petals. I know I keep chopping them down, but that's because I keep needing the wood. Although I forget what for this time. I know I do need some planks to finish up the bridge, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's get doom, doom, doom. Oh, let's go ahead and do the coal block. Put those away. Like, I haven't even mined that much. I've already got almost 2 stacks of coal blocks. And then, uh, like 64 times 9. So that's what, like 540 plus 36. So 576 pieces of coal. It's a lot of torches. I think, well, yeah, you get 4 out of each piece of coal in each stick. So, anyways, no, we need a stack of those. Let's drop off this stuff. Hmm. just leaving all of the dirt. I don't know. I feel like we're on the verge of solving a lot of problems through a lot of different ways. Like the biggest thing is just taking money out of campaigning. Like once we do that, then our politics won't be so ugly. I mean, because it's as it is, it's just this giant celeb or like popularity contests, and people that went to like private schools and all that and have wealthy families are already predetermined to win political elections. Like we already have like these barriers to entry for our politics for our citizens. So I mean, it's no wonder that we have such a circus now. And we have the technology. We could do Zoom rooms. We could do remote learning, remote politics. We don't have to deal with campaign ads. And really, campaign ads are just messed up because all they are like smear campaigns. They're like trying to make you hate this person or distrust this person. And then, oh, but like then vote for your own person because they're totally not a nut job or anything like that. Like they wouldn't be like, out banging horses or whatever the claims may be. I'm just kidding. That's a little too extreme, but South Park had it right. You're choosing between those two mascots, and those, if you know, you know, and that's what it is. And then I love that episode because then when P Diddy Diddy Poof went and took out PETA, then Randy was like, "Oh, now your vote doesn't matter because then PETA wasn't a thing, and so then they didn't have to change their mascot from it was the cows, it was the South Park cows, and people had issues with it, PETA specifically because cows being slaughtered and all that, and yeah." So, hilarious episode. Stan is actually banished because he doesn't want to vote. He's like, this is stupid. I don't want either of them. And that's how we feel. Like, I mean, especially the more recent elections. Like, granted, I don't know. Like, if Obama was able to run again, I'd be like, oh, yeah, oh my God, Obama. Like, I mean, Biden's good, but he's not like nothing to write home about. And I hate to say that. I don't want to take the wind out of his sails either. I mean, because he is doing a good job, and he kind of came in with a pretty horrible thing. But at the same time, there are some really easy, low-hanging fruit, legalizing cannabis, that he totally could have done. I mean, but instead, he went through the rigmarole and chose all of the things, that were probably chosen for him, like the people that worked for him, telling him what was important and what he needed to focus on, to get the voters from each demographic to solidify a win. But like if we went to a system where you could directly talk to politicians, respectively, though. I mean, people, it would have to be just like Twitch or any other thing. And I think that's why it's still slow to catch on, is because, I mean, it is still relatively new. All right, let's go fix the bridge. We've got, actually, let's run out of our stuff. Hmm. I mean, it goes quick, but I don't think I'm going to be doing any more. Like, I like this. Like, leave it a little rocky. I mean, I don't even know what's going on there. I feel like I dug out some coal or something, probably. I don't know why there's dirt, but I actually even... just fix the little holes. Like, yeah. There we go. Okay. So now, we'll fix the bridge. I can see it right there. I mean, still haven't figured out how to get the map to reflect the changes of the bridge. So, I don't know. We'll see. Well, Yeah, tons of copper, and I see a little more coal, but oops. Also, Geronimo! Oh, that was so fun. I mean, it's not that high up, but that's what just about every map I play in. If I play in it long enough, I'll eventually um oops. Ah, I'll eventually build a stairway to like build height and then jump off of it into a body of water. Like it's a thing. So, well, you got to be careful because the wrong person's watching you play. Like that could be rather stressful on the old ticker, the old heart. But I like to think that's getting better too. I mean, as diets change, as I don't know, we need to localize more production of food. I mean, with aquaponics, aeroponics, and actually, there's this system where we had a deep root water culture, where we had these buckets, and then like the roots would grow really long, really fast, and then once they were all big and grown, we would start blasting them with like misters and nutrients from the side, and like, oh, it was so cool, and plants would grow so massive and so quickly. But you just apply that to fruits and veggies, and you know, there you go. Grow your own food. So, and really, I mean, that's still a lot to ask of people, especially when they're trying to get out and be successful. But like, imagine if you offered like tax credits, or even, offered to pay people to work from home to just operate a greenhouse in their home or like near their home, or even just like give them the keys and have them, also sign out responsibility, like if something gets broken or whatever, like, they're liable, but or something. I don't know. We got to get it to where because the main thing is to figure out where it's coming from, like especially talking about vandalism and like, why we can't have nice things. Because the other idea I was having was like, if we had public arcades with PlayStations and Xboxes and all that for the people that really might not be able to afford them at their house. Um, Although having it in a public place also introduces other problems, like people that are experiencing homelessness using it as a place to sleep or hang out, and then or overstaying their welcome, or people using substances and going might start getting a little gamey, literally gamey, but and similar problem like treating it treating it as like a home. I don't know, but even at Camp George West, which is we call it Camp Cupcake. It's one of our low security prisons here in Colorado, and they have Xboxes and PlayStations. So, like, and I'm not saying that's bad. That's good. I mean, for punishing people and keeping them against their will in a place, like we should at least have something like that. And really, everybody should grow up with video games because of their cognitive abilities. Like you train your brain by playing games like this. So same with Fortnite, same with Bloodborne, same with all the games. Like, yes. Okay. I love how it shrinks down to almost nothing. You got 9 blocks out of almost 2 stacks. So. Oh wait, I do need the wood. Yeah, I really just wanted to jump on and say success. Like I was discussing with someone and using very unpleasant discussion tactics, like calling someone a Nazi and then calling someone a slaver that probably votes the same way I do is pretty messed up. But you know what? We can't let people get a free pass just because they vote like us. Like, that doesn't give you a blanket statement that means that you're just a good person overall. We are all capable of saying dumb things, myself especially, but, like, saying that all nonviolent felons shouldn't have guns. I mean, I get it. I get where, your heart's in the right place. Like, thinking that you're protecting people, but we don't realize that people are people. I mean, it's easier said than understood, and that's a great catchphrase. Like, because you can say it all day, but do you really understand it, or do you really think through what that means? People are people, so we got to treat them like they're us because they are. I mean, no matter what they look like, no matter what they believe, what they ascribe to, Like some kind of human behavior drove them to that, including their undesired behavior. And oof, like I said, I hate SOs, like sex offenders, with a passion. Like I would even say I was in that camp of like castration and murder for like punishment. But I'm interested to see what psilocybin magic mushrooms will do for that form of addiction because I've heard from people that work in corrections that it is. It's like a disease. It's an actual. I mean, at least the kid ones. I mean, the predatory nature of adult sex offenders is that's more understandable, especially when alcohol is involved. Like, not saying it's right, definitely not justifying it by any way, but it is human nature to get a little tipsy and try to practice procreating, like, and then actually procreating. Like, how many people are conceived with people getting a little tipsy? I mean, you have all the birthdays with like New Year's Eve birthdays or New Year's birthdays. I mean, what is that like? I want to say that's like, yeah, September, October. Anyways, huh. Which is a lot of people. I love that I can chop wood while jumping. Like, usually I don't think I could do that. You have to have a really powerful axe. Very good enchantments, which, yeah, we've got efficiency 5, sharpness. I think you can even do sharpness 5, so that's what we should do. Either way, I think we've definitely explored the versatility of this wood. Trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, yeah, there's like buttons, and then we have fences. We have a little llama pen. And it's really like not that pink, especially when compared to like the petals. What would also be cool is if we started having floating platforms with trees on them. Because this almost does look like the end cities, only like if those were like fossilized or petrified wood versions of these trees. Actually, it really does. I mean, it's kind of like the random, like lateral and vertical movement of the wood. Like, it just definitely reminds me of like the end fruit or the end cities. So, and now that we don't really need it, I am getting hungry though. Might have to have a snack ski before I go back to sleep. I tell you what though, coding is exhausting. And so if you are trying to get into a tech career and you are doing those coding videos, take breaks. I mean, because even just that little bit I only did like an hour of coding yesterday, and it was still a bunch because, yeah. I mean, I figured out most of what I was trying to do, but like I didn't even solve one orange challenge. And in order to get like a blue ranking, you have to do, well, if you follow what I did hundreds of the white ones. Like I think at least like literally like 200 or 300, because they're only worth like 2 points or whatever. And then I did, I want to say 3 blue ones, several orange ones, which are in between blue and white. Um, and some of those can be really hard, and some of those can be really easy. I feel like there needs to be some nerfing of some, and then some promotion of others. But I don't know. Overall, like you can't go wrong by just doing a ton of them, and it's going to take a few days, weeks, whatever. But if you think about it, getting a formal education at a 4-year university or college, like that takes 4 years. Also, do we have a? I keep feeling like I'm hearing a bee, like a bee's nest, which would be really cool. Oh, there's the alarm. So, oh, and some other stuff going on. Man, doesn't anybody sleep anymore? No, I'm just kidding. Like, I just woke up. I'm definitely didn't get my full 8 hours, so I'm going back to bed. But, checked the phone, saw that, continued the discussion. And I feel bad too, because I feel like since they were so responsive, that this was actually bothering them, that they were really taken back and offended by being called a Nazi and a slave owner. Like, I'm just kidding, but it's like they were responding very quickly. And in the Twitter world, for someone to do that, that means that they're checking their phone. And I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable like that, except I do when it means like we used to have to do sit-ins and marches, like when we were trying to get, women's voting rights, and then African Americans or African descendants, because they're still Americans, just like Native Americans are Americans, but they're native. They're the native variety, and really, it's getting so mixed anymore that a lot of times it doesn't even matter. I mean, it's hard to tell. It's like the Sneetches going back and forth and back and forth. Like, at some point, they don't even know or care who had stars upon theirs. Like, who has this color skin or that. Like, I don't know. Anyways, that's a good time to stop. Here's the first one from today. I don't know how many we'll do today. Like, I really do keep feeling like I need to at least crank out a GED video. It's 2 hours of my lifetime to get the last two videos. But they're the subjects that I'm not as excited about. Language arts. Well, yes, I like using the versatility of the English language and how, you know, intricate you can get. Um, it's boring. It's, learning grammar, learning the I before E except after C, or in several hundred examples isn't true, you know? Whereas math, it's like, yes, 1 plus 1 always equals 2, and then all that good stuff. So, anyways, I digress. I'm off to bed. Have a good day, everybody. I mean, by the time this actually uploads, it's going to be tomorrow anyway. So, all right. Well, I will see you from the past in the future. Ta ta.